the show. This is Backstage, and I'm here with the unbelievable, the talented, the multi-talented dancer, rapper, master's degree, host. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, so you have a writer. I am a consultant.
That's right.
I am a trainer and a lyricist.
This is Maryika Stubbs, damn it.
Maryika Stubbs, a.k.a. Oya.
How you doing, Maryika?
I'm doing great today. I'm happy to be here with you.
So tell me, what's been going on with you?
You know, I have been through the roller coaster of life, and right now my biggest thing is taking everything that I am doing and expanding it, bringing it to the next level.
Okay.
My favorite thing that I'm doing right now is preparing to open a fitness brand, specifically based around pole fitness. It's called Upstate Alternative Fitness, where we'll be taking pole and making it fit and fun outside of the dancing spaces that it's generally associated with, although we all know that there will be no pole if there were no strip clubs.
That's right.
So I just want to give women and people in general a safe space to not only get fit, but to enjoy the alternative and being fit, and not have to focus so much on being in a gym and having to take the repetitive steps in order to bring their body to the next level.
Okay.
But outside of that, I have been hosting different events. I'm going to be working with a podcast called the Hourglass Podcast, where the time is now. And shout out to Brandon for that. And I'm also a member of Breezy's Angels Worldwide. Breezy's Angels Worldwide, which is a brainchild of O'Brien Thomas. He's in New York City. And last year in the summer, I brought myself down to the city to present why I should be a part of it. And so far, he's really given me reasons to continue sharing the love and the wealth.
Okay.
Where I've been a part of different celebrity events. I have been the focus of a viral video that recently came out with No Love Mar. And again, he puts together different spaces for people to commune as well as network and grow. I really love working with Breezy. It's really a different experience. And outside of that, I've been working on myself. I have been hustling, working in different clubs in the area as part of what I do, and taking my degree and making some sense with it.
That's always it. You get the degree, and then what the hell do I do with it?
Yeah, literally. I'm not even mad at anybody who said that, because I felt that. I didn't think I would feel that, but I felt it a little too hard.
Okay. So tell me about, what was Maryika growing up? Tell me about Maryika growing up.
Maryika was a little girl who wasn't sure of who or why or what. I was raised in foster care with my loving family, Carrie and Willie Thomas. They really took care of me, and they still take care of me. Willie been dead since 2018, some way, somehow. He still take care of me. Yeah, I love you, Willie. And then that's my dad. And then my mom, Carrie, as well. She took me in. They took me in when I was 3 months old after I was born on withdrawal. Unfortunately, my mother was an addict, and she suffered with the crack epidemic. And my father as well. He wasn't an addict, but he was definitely one of the pushers. And they took me in, and this screaming little baby named Maryika would literally cry all day and night. And eventually they decided that I was a smart kid. They saw it. They saw potential in me and took the money that they were getting from the state for me being in foster care and put me in school. So I went to St. Casimir's Regional School, based in Albany, New York, on Sheridan Avenue, literally from kindergarten until 8th grade. So I grew up with a lot of the same people, and I met some of my best friends there. I was bullied a lot, unfortunately. You know who you are, and I still love you though. And there was times where I wasn't really sure who I was and where I was going. So once I got into high school, I was already heavy into sports. I was playing basketball at St. Casimir's, and I found a love in writing and drawing. So I would escape from the realities of the world
Through your creativity.
through
That's
my
dope.
creativity. Yes,
That's dope.
when I was 12 years old, I wrote a book. Like that's how deep it
Okay.
was. So we used to draw comics, and we used to put together full stories behind these comics, full realities. And my cousins and I, my friends and I, we fell in love with the art of storytelling.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I grew. But originally, I wanted to be a veterinarian. So I went to SUNY Dell Heights for veterinary technology and decided that I wasn't good at chemistry. I was not good at chemistry. So I ended up...
So much for that.
Yeah, so much for that. It was definitely so much for that. And even throughout high school, I suffered with depression and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But I still focused on being in the moment when it comes to school. I wanted to get through it. I wanted to be the first of my family to get their degrees and to really take our family out of the situation that we were in. Even with my grandmother, who was still there for me, she brought me to my house on 3rd Street and said, please take this child. I need your help. And they decided that I was worth that help.
Wow.
They made sure that I was on the right path, even when I didn't want to be, even when I was doing the most, going to the Equinox, going out at night, sneaking out. You know, we used to have a dog.
All the shit you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, the stuff I shouldn't have been doing. So I would literally sneak out and put the dog in the basement to go to the parties.
Wow.
Yeah, Diva was a hot mess at the time. And eventually I learned that, you know, I had a purpose in this world. And sometimes I doubted it. Even through college, I ended up getting my associate's degree from SUNY Dell High in liberal arts, meeting some really great people who I still connect with to this day.
Good.
And went to Old Westbury and transferred back to UAlbany, which restarted my story here in the city of Albany.
Oh wow, okay. So you're actually a graduate of UAlbany.
Yes, I have my bachelor's and master's from UAlbany.
Okay.
My bachelor's is in it's the Bachelor's of Arts in Journalism, Communications, and African Studies.
Okay.
And my master's is in Organizational Communications.
Okay.
So,
Now see, shout out to you because you're the one that got my son his job down at the state assembly.
yeah, I definitely did get him the job there. So I worked there for a few years as a writer as well. So we would write all sorts of legislative press as well as public information for the assembly members.
Right.
And we would write speeches, we would do newsletters, mailers, anything that they needed via written communication. We would be drafting, editing, and eventually helping publish.
Right.
So I would take the time to practice, and I started taking in individual jobs from people. And that's when I decided I wanted to be a consultant. But I also, again, was still making music. I would put out songs every now and again. I put out In My Bag with Kay Hollywood,
Yes,
rest in peace.
yeah.
And that's from one of my cousins. And we really turned the city up with In My Bag. That was a good year. That was a good year.
Let's, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's talk about that. Your music.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like you create something and then you go on hiatus for a while. Is that planned, or is that just you losing interest for a little bit, or that you just moving on to another endeavor and then coming back, or what?
Well, that's a good question. That's actually a really good question. Part of it is feeling unsupported within that space. So I would put things out, and I actually would book people to do videos and things. They would stand me up, take the money. I've tried multiple times to really put out the work, and I've put in the hours, thousands of dollars into those songs.
Right.
So I'd put them out and promote them, and again, look for different opportunities to shoot content behind those videos. But it was a different time, you know, content wasn't necessarily king.
Right.
And I was still learning how to maneuver those spaces and specifically promote myself without feeling overwhelmed.
Okay.
So I would go on the hiatus, not because I wanted to, but because life just pushed me in that way.
You seem like a person that just goes with the flow. And
Yeah.
wherever it goes, that's where you go.
Yeah.
So, recently, you've fell back into music.
Yeah.
And you got a piece coming out with who's with that? Who's that? Mike Miller?
Yes.
Mike Miller. Well, tell me about that.
So Mike Miller is a videographer here in Albany, New York, and he does what's called The Influence.
Shout out to my boy Mike Miller.
Shout out
He's
to
all
Mike
that
Miller.
And a little bit more.
And he just dropped the album that actually slayed a lot of people. So I really feel bad for y'all because he just put out some good work.
Oh shit.
I was like, oh snap. I was like, oh shit, but okay. So Mike, he does the influence videos. So essentially you pick an outdoor area and he comes and brings his microphone and shoots you performing your song. He does own the rights to the video. He posts it on his page with visuals. However, the videos are used for your promotional purposes. Okay. And I did record one with him. The song is called PIMP, Park My Pussy. No, it's Park My Pussy.
Okay.
And I was, last year was a wild ride for me. It was truly a wild ride. From moving from the state assembly into a higher, more career-based position with a philanthropic organization that didn't necessarily work out. We were not on the same page.
Okay, so it wasn't a good match.
It wasn't a good match. At first it was, but then, things happen. Things change. And again, what I went to school for was organizational communication. And when there's a lot of systemic changes happening at once, things can get confuzzled, especially in a small organization. So where they have a lot of power. So it was just, time to nix me. And I, at that point,
so is that what this song's about?
No.
Oh.
This song was me being, I was alone at the time. I'm not really a date around kind of person. I have dated a few people, but at the time I was on a reset, and at that point I was like, dang, I wish I had somebody that I could call. And it just came to me one day, and I was like, parking my pussy, lock up the 5. I was like, whoa. And once I heard the beat, I was like, wow, wait, I gotta write a song to this. I gotta write a song. And just came to me. Where did the beat come from? The beat came from a producer called Consiglius. I'm not actually sure where he's based, but you can follow him on Instagram at Consiglius and on BeatStars. That's where I located the beat at BeatStars. Okay. And it just came to me, really. At first, the first line I came up with, son, parking my pussy. Son, no, this is good shit. And I was like, wow, that's actually catchy. PIMP. And then the whole song came for me. It just came for me. It was like, you are it today. This is you.
And when is that dropping?
That came out on April 12th on all DSPs. And I will be recording an actual full-length visual to go with the song. But for now, we have the influence performance to kind of push a little more. And I enjoyed doing that song. It really was fun. It was out of my element in a way, because I've talked about things like that. I have Bad Girl Activated. I have In My Bag 2, which was the second, the follow-up to the original In My Bag that me and Kay Hollywood were supposed to put together before she unfortunately passed. And I really was just inspired. I said, I want to do something that's fun. I want to do something that's out of the box for me. I'm this quiet girl. You
got that alter ego too. That alter ego pops up, and all of a sudden, it's like, hey, who's that?
Who's that? Oya is my alter ego. A lot of people look down on that. They say, are you, I've seen things like that. Like, I'm me. And I'm like, I'm me in all my forms. But Oya can't be everywhere. Right. And shout out to Breezy from the Red Envelope. My first place working out after diving into that field.
Well, let's go there for a minute, because I think a lot of people want to know, how does a girl with a master's degree, obviously very intelligent, articulate, and there's this misinformation out there that somehow that dancing is beneath you or something like that. So how does a girl, I'll put it to you this way, how does a good girl like you end up on a pole?
Man, good girl's gone bad. Let's say that. You know what's funny? I've actually had a lot of people say that to me. They say, you don't belong here. It's like you don't belong here. You don't like. Why are you here? You're
your story is so different. You don't. It's not the typical dancer story.
Yeah, I started dancing as a hobby. It wasn't even as a money thing or anything. I went to Blessed Body Fitness because I had a friend. We don't really talk anymore. She was there. And she was inspiring. I was like, wow, look at this girl on the pole. I was like, wow, babe, you look good. I want to try that. And then I have another friend. Shout out to Luna. Luna was definitely another person who pushed me to go to the classes and try. And I was already strong enough because I'm into strength training. I'm into fitness. I was captain of my track team.
Okay.
I was one of those people that was bench pressing in the school gym. Y'all know I was bench pressing y'all weight in the school gym. So I was already built for it athletically, but I had to learn how to be flexible, how to be sensual, and
that's a whole different level of fitness.
Right. So once I lost the job, well, not even lost the job. It was kind of like we gonna wipe our hands of this and walk away. Yeah. So we, not me, I decided that I wanted to actually dive further into that world, sex work. At the end of the day, that's what it is. And shout out to the strippers. We love y'all. I love. So. I knew that I had a skill, and I knew that I needed money, and I also knew that I wanted to invest in my businesses that I had. I was already a consultant. I was already on the side, and that's why it's an alter ego. A lot of people did not know I was dancing at the same time. I'm doing all these things. I'm traveling around dancing, and Oya came to be from that. Okay. Oya is an Orisha of the Ifa religion. If you know about Yoruba. And all those things. A lot of people talk about Oshun, Ogun, Yeshua. There's all these different people that people talk about. But Oya is one of the oldest, one of the most powerful Orishas that is out. And I still have so much to learn about her. I still am learning.
Right.
However, when I read her story and I read that she's the goddess of power and destruction, the goddess of the forces of nature, I said to myself, I kind of relate to that more, that I feel like I'm the goddess, I could be the goddess of power. And instead of being like Vixen or something like that, I'm Oya. And
so you started at the Red Envelope, and that was in Albany? In
Albany, yes. It's the old DeCarlos. DeCarlos was open for so long.
Right.
And Rick, he opened up the Red Envelope in the end of December. Well, it was the beginning of December-ish. And
didn't stay open long, right?
No, it was open for less than a year.
Right.
And that's when I decided I wanted to travel more and really, again, dive into it, see more of the spaces that exist within that world. So I've danced at different clubs in New York State. My home club is downstate a little more. And right now, I've been to like Syracuse, I've been to the city, been in New Jersey, been all around this area, and I want to expand a little more. But again, it's to invest in the businesses that I have because I opened up an incorporation that I wanted to use to not only promote the fitness side of things, but the consulting side of things, as well as diving more into retail, diving more into just the idea of helping people establish themselves as a business, whether that's helping people create events.
So you're using dancing as a springboard.
Yeah.
To flip other business, to finance other endeavors.
Yep, and I still have regular things that I do to make money. Obviously, because dancing can be a very hit or miss thing.
What do you mean?
One day you can make $0, one day you can make $1,000.
Oh, okay.
That's how it goes.
Right.
I remember
that's
one
the business,
time,
right?
Woof, I remember the first time I made a couple, I made almost $1,000 in a night. I said to myself, this is cool. I was like, this is kind of cool.
The next night you make nothing, like, whoa.
Yeah, that was definitely a night where you walk out with $50 and you're like, whoa, I gotta pay people. Right. Because some places they have house fees and things like that.
Right.
But I enjoyed doing it, and I was working with people as a consultant, doing communications work, and I still do in a way. I gave up my clients because I went through a really rough patch, and anxiety and depression is a real thing, and taking care of yourself outside of all of this stuff is so important. And that's what I've learned. I used to just burn out. And I burning.
Well, you're doing a lot.
Burning, yeah. And at one point, I decided that I needed to step back from all of these things and figure out what I want to do next.
Okay. So you are also a fitness trainer.
Yeah.
And you just started your own business as far as that goes, but you're working out of, well, just tell me, tell me about your business.
Yeah. So right now I am working on expanding what's called Upstate Alternative Fitness. Originally I called it Fairy Fly Fitness because I thought that was really cute, but I turned that into a retail brand. So I want to sell grippy clothing. If you don't know, and if you want to know, they are yoga pants that
I already got educated on that earlier, guys.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. So the yoga pants that have, or yoga clothing in general, they have knee pads, shorts, pants, shirts, everything. They have silicone lining and designs where they are inspired by equestrian riding clothes. Okay. But we have taken it and brought it all over the pieces, whereas you can now wear these clothes while using chrome poles, which we all know are notoriously slippery.
Okay.
And slippy is definitely the word because they are not grippy. You have to have some type of strength and fitness, but they're very slippery and they can cause injuries if you're not experienced. So wearing the grippy clothing helps improve your posture, helps you perfect the movements, as well as protects you from injury via the extra stick.
Okay.
So
and where can people find you at? Where can they get you at, for these classes?
Right now, I am offering the link to these classes on Upstate Alt Fitness. That's just the Instagram page. And you can reach out to me directly on my Facebook. I'm also going to be hosting these classes at Victoria Fitness imminent. Shout out to Tyler and Teron. They're great and they definitely provide a very safe place for people to work out and train with professional fitness trainers that know what they're doing, that have the wherewithal to give you not only guidance but as well as motivation to continue working. So I'm really excited to host the classes out of there. They're going to be very small classes. And I also took the time last May to become an expert pole trainer. So I'm certified in levels 1 and 2, which is beginner and intermediate pole. To teach people on static, so it's not spinning poles, which is a big difference.
Okay, what's the difference?
So the difference between a static and a spinning pole is literally the static poles don't move. So you will see people doing all these crazy tricks. Generally, the pole's not moving. You will be surprised. When you can tell, most people, if you're not experienced, you can't tell per se, but you can tell. There's a difference. Power pole requires static pole. So it gives you the chance to really control the movements compared to spinning pole. That's what you see the girls doing all the nice, flowy things.
It's almost like almost artistic and crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are definitely leagues out here. You have Pole Sport Organization. They're actually bidding for pole to be an Olympic sport, which would be really cool, as well as different competitions and showcases all over the country and the world that happen. And if you were to go on Expert Pole's website, you can sign up for these showcases and competitions directly, as well as the Pole Sport Organization. They have a yearly competition, and they allow people to really make a name for themselves outside of these places that we call strip clubs. And again, there will be no pole without strip clubs. There will be no clackers without pleasers, So
just so you guys know, Maryika travels with her pole. She brought her pole here today.
Yes, I did. That thing is 220 pounds of madness.
Yes,
let's be clear.
That thing is heavy.
Oh, man, that thing is heavy. But it's a good time. It really is a good time to not only watch.
I was nervous, though. You know I was nervous, right?
Yeah. No, he was nervous. You could tell. He was like, is that thing going to fall? Are you going to fall? I'm like, no, I'm fine. If I do fall, just pick me up. Just let me fall gracefully. And I'm going to get up, But it's definitely a fun time to just be a part of that. And essentially, this thing that I do is funding not only Upstate Alternative Fitness, is funding Fairy Fly Fitness, as well as my consulting organization, where I will still be helping different businesses improve their written communication processes, as well as assisting with any systemic changes within the organization through communication, by helping people understand what those changes are, how they can be affecting them, their position, as well as what they need to know in order to continue growing as an organization or expanding. Some things it could be as little as writing a letter, writing an email, and some things can be as big as creating annual reports.
Okay.
But that is communication within an organization. And internal or external communication processes are so important to maintaining structure within your organization. That's one of the biggest things that I learned through school and experience, just going through that and seeing how it affected me in a lot of different ways. And a lot of the spaces I was working within, they experienced systemic changes throughout the pandemic and after. So being that I've had that experience, I'm really looking forward to working with new organizations in order to create public relations and marketing content. But from the back end, I do not want to be the face. let me be the back end, y'all. But I will definitely help with hosting for public events, as well as hosting any like fashion shows. Again, most recently, I hosted Art Hearts Fashion Runway with Brandon, also known as the Hourglass Podcast, for the time is now. And that was a great experience. I got to get a Getty photo with a very well-known photographer, as well as meeting so many different influencers within that space. And the models, they were all very beautiful, but I remember that I am not tall. You know,
they have some tall girls,
we're like this, Sarah's just like, wow. It's very like damning for me, because I'm like, damn,
so
guys gonna pick me.
So you've done some things. I mean, you've been on Hollywood sets, movie sets.
Yes, I have.
How was that?
That was actually a lot of fun. So part of being a model is also acting in a lot of ways, and sometimes it's not having a speaking role. So being in the background can be a learning experience. Not only do you see how producers work, because you're not consistently moving, you're not the highlight, so you don't have to worry about
you're watching stuff happen.
Exactly. So I'm not worried about makeup, I'm not worried about hair, in that sense. Once my hair and makeup is done, it's done. Like, that's it. But most of the time I don't wear makeup. Like right now I don't have on any makeup, and a lot of people would not believe me unless I did this. You know, like as I start rubbing my face, they don't believe it. So I shot with the Gilded Age. I did seasons 1 and 2. I also worked with the new Pretty Little Liars, and I did an episode of Billions.
Was that shot here too?
Yeah, they were. Well, Pretty Little Liars, part of it was shot in Schenectady. The other part was in Saugerties. And some of it, what was it? So I only shot in Saugerties and in Schenectady with Pretty Little Liars. But I did a lot of I did a lot of episodes there.
Now, have you seen your face on TV yet?
Yeah, I have. I actually have, y'all. I've seen myself a couple times.
Really?
Quite frankly, if you have a really good eye, you spot me in seasons 1 and 2 of The Gilded Age. I got a nice feature scene where I was walking through both times. And specifically in the second season, where me and my friend Mo, we were like locked arms walking through, and we got to just watch everybody pass. It was a really nice experience. I think Danae, is her name? Danae?
Yes.
She is so lovely. I got to talk to her for a second. She is so lovely. And the production was great. I really had a great experience shooting The Gilded Age. I can't wait for them to come back for season 3. I hope they continue shooting for at least another season or 2 after. And Pretty Little Liars was fun because all the food in those scenes were real.
Oh, so you guys got to eat up.
Yeah, we were eating the food. Like, we were eating all that popcorn. We were eating the food.
Damn.
The hot dogs, all that. We were eating. It was real.
Wow.
They have no choice but to either let you eat it or let it go to waste. So we were actually riding the rides and really like in this built carnival in the Armory in Schenectady. It was really cool. It was really cool. So one thing about the Hollywood sets is unless you are doing a low budget, 9 times out of 10 they're going all out.
Yeah, they're going all out.
All out. So they put a full scale carnival in the Armory
now,
for the show.
When you're in the set and then you see it on TV, it's like, oh my God, it's got because it looks so real on TV.
Yeah.
But I know when you're there, it's like, okay, I can see this, I can see. But then when they actually do it, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's such a unique experience. Mm-hmm. And if you're not built for it, or if you're not really interested in that, I totally understand. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Long days. Oh, imagine wearing legging, t-shirt, corset, sucked in, cage,
pulled tight.
No, it was tight. And then you have the actual Victorian era outfits on top of that. And then you got your hair's pinned up in a million ways, and then the hat's pinned on. And then you have Italian wooden heels that they would sometimes fix every day because they would like break some occasionally. But you're standing in those heels for 10 plus hours sometimes.
Woo!
Our feet were hurting.
Working.
But imagine being the leads. Imagine being the principals and supporting actors. Oh my God. Their days were even longer sometimes. So I really would opt to not complain.
Right. Right.
Like,
exactly.
When I would see Danae switching outfits, wearing the same heels and the same corsets and the same pin-up hairstyles.
It's got to be amazing.
Yeah, you just had to admire it and remember that you are only a small part of this and that your day is over. But her month is not, you know? And I admire that so much.
So, where do you go from here?
Wow, that's actually that's another good question.
You've done so much. You're doing so much. Where do you go from here?
Yeah. Firstly, again, I do want to give a big shout out to Breezy because he's helping me find a place in this industry through the Angels.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you need support. You need a team behind you in one way or another. And that is my team. Whenever I'm down in the city and I'm doing things, all I got to do is say I'm with Breezy, and generally
Doors open.
The door's open. And I won't just pull up and say, hey, I'm with Breezy. Like, I'll make sure that they know I'm coming so that I'm like aware of what I need to do. But that definitely helped me find a place within this space where I'm able to meet people. And you know what's crazy? I will give a story behind that as well quickly, because I went down for New York Fashion Week with Luna Lily, and we ended up casting for this show, Runway 7 Fashion. And I missed the casting by a margin. Like, at the time, I was a little bigger. So they wanted a 36, and I was a 37.
Okay.
In breast size.
Right.
So I met with this person named Rod, and he directed me to go to a movie set. And was I by myself? Actually, I think I was by myself. I think about it. Yeah, I was by myself. So me and her went down for another time to do some casting. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. But we actually got casted through a person connected to Rod, because I went to the Runway 7 Fashion casting and didn't get picked. But he said, you actually would look really nice on the movie set that they're shooting around the corner. Do you want to go? Just like that. And I said to him, I didn't think it was legit. So it ended up being at the Hudson. And if you know, that's a very popular club in New York City. No, the Harbor. It was at the Harbor, New York City. And it was with Tuesday Thomas. And they were doing the Juice remake film with Queen Latifah and a bunch of different people. And they bring me up this penthouse elevator. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just here for the vibes. And I go in, and it's just a bunch of people just in there chilling. They were smoking. They was really prepping themselves for this video shoot and to film. I got to meet Joel Santana, but that's where I met Chastity McKenzie. Chastity McKenzie is the COO, the operational officer of Breezy's Angels. A lot of people were like, "You're so pretty. You're so nice. Go talk to Chastity. Go talk to Chastity." And I didn't really think anything of it at the time. I just walked up to her and I said, "Hey, everybody's telling me I need to talk to you, so you must be the boss lady." and me and her connected from there. And when they announced that they were bringing new people into the group, I went down and talked to the leaders at the time, and they thought that I would be a good fit. And it's basically been a thing for me ever since. And that's where I got to, again, film a small movie with Tuesday Thomas as well, where I got to meet a few other celebrities, and me and Bruno went down. That's the time we went down, and we were doing more castings. We went back to Runway 7 to work with them as well. Even though we weren't necessarily selected for that, it brought more opportunities.
It brought more opportunities. So working for something, or trying out for something, actually opened up more doors for you.
Exactly. And at the time where I'm not working and I'm just kind of sitting on unemployment, I'm figuring out what I'm doing next, doing my consulting work, I thought it was a great time to really build on these things. So that's where I decided to expand my consulting business.
Gotcha.
I decided to, again, dive further into hosting, dive further into modeling, being a dancer. And now I really want to combine these lanes. Being Oya is the combination of all those things, outside of literally just writing for people. Like, I love writing for people, but writing for myself has been one of the biggest experiences, you know, being my own self-employed person and creating these things that I have worked so hard for, and taking them somewhere is the next thing. So
that's the next big thing.
So taking my marketing and promo skills and putting it into upstate alternative fitness, as well as opening the retail clothing brand that I can take to different places and work with. You know, I want to really work with different influencers to promote safe pole work when it comes to work. Not working within the club, but being a pole dancer, like finding
the many different ways of the art.
Exactly. You know, you have people like Shelly Murdoch, who was the she was the stunt double for Mississippi in P-Valley, who really made pole fun and started Fit to Flaunt, which has expanded so far. I admire that so much. You have different pole companies that have created the Crippy clothing brand. Like, it's really its own brand. But the one thing I love about pole girls is that they are generally not gatekeepers outside of the club. In the club, they're gatekeepers. But outside of the club, no. So they're
very welcoming.
Very welcoming. They love putting people on to what they're using, what they're doing, the different ways to not only engage in different movements, but how to get out of them safely, which is another big thing. One of the biggest things I've learned is how to spot people. So taking those different experiences and investing it into this brand. But outside of all of that, I really love writing. Like, I love being a writer.
Reconnect with your writing.
Yes, and writing poetry, just embracing Oya for who she is and who I am. That's me. And investing that into my music career. So I look forward to putting out more music, doing features. Look for the PIMP challenge, because I'm challenging everybody who thinks they can write better than me. Or just if you just not challenge. Just if you don't write better than me, that's fine. But if you do write better than me, show me on PIMP. You have 8 bars at the end of that song to show me why you are top tier, because I love to see it. I am so open to that. I want everybody who thinks they are better than me to get on that song and push it. You know what I mean? Get on those 8.
Say less.
Do what you gotta do. You know, do what you gotta do. Show me you better than me, because I know you are. I believe in you. I love you. I believe in you.
Well, Maryika, I want to thank you for stopping in.
Thank you.
Been very, very informative.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to work with you. And once again, thanks for stopping by Backstage.
No, thank you for having me backstage at Threads. Please look out for the pictures that are coming out. They're hot. Hot.
Hot. Thanks, sis.
Super hot. No, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.